You call it being sensitive. I call it having standards. The question is not, why are y'all so sensitive? The question is, why can't your favorite rapper make a song without talking about black people or degrading black women? If he can't do that, maybe he's just not that talented. The formula for rap music hasn't changed over the past 40 years. The formula has pretty much been the same. Hasn't changed much. It's violence plus degradation of women equals success. And I really gotta say, y'all, hip hop really was just the worst thing to ever happen to black women's image. Now, I don't follow Meek Mill and I can't tell you a Meek Mill song. Thus, I would never see a Meek Mill album cover unless he drew it like a kid's cartoon, erected it on a city bus, and drove it right up to me and my family at IKEA. Y'all, this is disgusting and degrading on so many levels. I mean, there were only a million other ways to portray black women, and they chose the most degrading way that they could think of. This is the best thing they could come up with. If I saw this driving around my city on a public transportation bus, I would immediately go down to City Hall, call, and harass them until they got this garbage taken down out of my community. All groups of women face some sort of oppression from men. However, as far as I can tell, we are the only group of women on planet Earth who have to deal with this kind of degradation from our men. No other group of women on Earth have to deal with their men erecting inappropriate, lewd, and explicit images of their women and putting it up on a city bus and forcing it on the world and young children to see. I mean, the degeneracy is unreal. And why is the man portrayed normally? When I look at this, why is the man portrayed normally and it's only the women being portrayed disgustingly? I maybe could see a little bit if, the guy was inappropriate as well, but the guy looks perfectly normal and the women are in the most disgusting positions possible. There's so many layers of degeneracy with this picture that I don't even know where to begin. The man portrayed perfectly normal and the women are being portrayed like this. It's giving, let me step on my women and destroy their image to elevate myself. And another thing that really got me with this is that I've been watching music videos my entire life. We all grew up watching MTV, BET, all that. You, me, God, and everyone on earth knows that rappers have been singing about their worship of non-black women and foreign women for the past 20-something years. All over rap videos. When you look in the videos, it's primarily what? Non-black women or racially ambiguous women. Racially ambiguous women. I don't even know if I spelled that word right. Ambiguous. Oh, they're ambiguous. Racially ambiguous women. Why can't I say that word? What is wrong with me? So we know that in rap videos, they primarily include non-black and racially ambiguous looking women. But suddenly, when they want to get away with extreme degradation of women, suddenly the skin tones get really dark. I mean, I find that fascinating. It's non-black and racially ambiguous women all up and through the rap videos. But suddenly, when they want to get away with extreme degradation of women and putting this up around your city, suddenly the skin tones get really dark. And they start saying words like, it's art and black culture. And it was at this moment right here that I began to wonder if the degradation of women is black culture. And I'm going to level with y'all, that really, really got to me. I barely see any women with my skin tone, but suddenly when you want to post images like this, now you know where my skin tone is. Now you use my skin tone for this. So my skin tone is not good enough to be in the music video, but it is good enough to be exploited and degraded in this manner. And this, my friends, is the crux of this issue for me. This is a clear and present example of how rappers, rap music, and Black people often promote, encourage, and protect white supremacy. I mean, why didn't they use the same non-Black women from the music videos on this album cover? That is a loaded question that I would need a whole other video to explain. You see, the entire concept of colorism promotes white supremacy. Like, it's no, Jen, stay on track. We don't want the video to be 3 years long. Nope. If you prefer light skin over dark skin, and light skin is better than dark skin, if that's what you're saying in your songs, if in your rap songs you're saying that light skin is better than dark skin and you prefer light skin over dark skin, then what is white skin? Now, Meek Mill used the degradation of Black women, his own women, to elevate himself and promote his trash music. If he was truly talented, he wouldn't feel the need to do this. People who actually have talent let their talent speak for itself. And I just couldn't understand why folks on Twitter kept telling me, but a Black woman drew it, but a Black woman drew it. As if that's supposed to mean anything to me. I don't care what color her skin is. If my mama drew this garbage, I would tell her it was trash. Now, other degenerate straw man arguments try to defend this by comparing it to Greek statues. I mean, I can't roll my eyes any harder. Honey, they might not care about protecting Black women, but they will protect degeneracy at all costs. First of all, Greek statues that were created 3,000 something years ago depicted both men and women in the nude. Second of all, they were not depicted in suggestive or explicit position. Now, y'all know y'all ain't never seen a Greek statue bent over with her cat showing. And this is the extent to which degenerates will defend degeneracy. And do y'all notice how when they want to get away with degenerate behavior, suddenly they compare themselves to Europeans? However, when Black women say things like, we want monogamy, we want marriage, we want certain things.
No, Black women, you shouldn't want that. Those are European concepts.
But suddenly, when they want to degrade Black women, they use Greek art to defend it. The hypocrisy is unbelievable.
They might not protect you, Black women, but rest assured they will protect their desire to degrade and humiliate you.
And this is just another example of Black women being unprotected. Most of us literally are not protected, and our image is not protected. They're defending their desire to erect your naked body up on a public transportation bus in explicit positions and ride it around town in family-oriented neighborhoods. Another thing that gets me with these censorship debates is that every so often, these debates of censorship come up in the media and we discuss it. And every single time we discuss censorship, you will see a ton of people go, it's up to the parents. It's up to the parents. It's the parents. It's the parents. It's the parents' fault. Don't let TV raise your kids. Don't let social media raise your kids. Don't let YouTube raise your kids. That's on the parents. Be a parent. You can't let TV raise your kids. I agree. I don't disagree with that. However, I can monitor my kids' social media. I can take their phones or their iPads away. I can monitor what they watch on television. I can monitor their media and what they see at home. However, I cannot monitor what my child sees when Meek Mill drives his degenerate transportation bus ad up to the local IKEA where my kids and I are sitting in the parking lot or at the playground. I mean, where do we draw the line? Is there a line anymore? I mean, with us, is there a line? Is it like anything goes? Are we just throwing all standards out the window and it's the wild, wild west in the Black community? If a little Black girl sees this disgusting bus while riding in her school bus on the way to school, she's gonna think to herself, is this the way I need to behave in order to get love from Black men? If a little black boy sees this bus while riding in his school bus on the way to school, he's going to think to himself, is this how I'm supposed to treat women? Is this how I should view women? Is this how I'm supposed to view my female counterpart? Is this how I'm supposed to treat her? If a little black boy sees these images and his mind is not mature yet, he doesn't fully understand what he's seeing, and these images inspire him to do something inappropriate with the little girl, his actions will cause him to get in trouble and he will begin heading on the wrong path. And if that little black girl is inspired to do the things that she sees in this imagery, society and black people will call her what? What will they call her? They will call her names. They will call her fast and say she's an HOE. If that little black girl does what she sees in those photos, they're going to call her an SLUT. Okay? She's going to get labeled. That is what the black community does to little black girls who are inspired to do what they see in that imagery. Now, the little black boy, on the other hand, if that imagery inspires him to do something inappropriate and he gets into trouble, black people are going to blame who?
White supremacy!
If this imagery inspires a little black boy to do something inappropriate, the black community will label him a victim and blame white supremacy. It is not white supremacy. It is us. And that's the thing with these discussions. When I'm having these discussions in black spaces, a lot of the black people that I have discussions with in black spaces, they don't really understand connections. They don't understand cause and effect relationships. They don't really understand how our actions as adults affect our kids. Okay, and there's many Meek Mills out here. It's not, just him alone. It's this kind of behavior. It's the behavior of forcing inappropriate, disgusting, degrading images onto young children and then expect them to be perfectly functioning adults. I mean, at this point, white supremacy is just becoming an excuse for black people not to take accountability for their action. We talk about it way too much. We give it way too much credit. We're so intent on using white supremacy as an excuse for everything that it causes us not to reflect and look at how our own actions are harming our community. I'm no longer interested in talking about white supremacy. We give it way too much credit. I'm more interested in the question of, when will black people start practicing black supremacy? When will we start putting ourselves first? Because a person practicing black supremacy would not draw cartoonish images of naked black women in explicit, lewd poses and erect it onto a giant public transportation bus and force it onto the world in young children. A person who could do such a thing does not value their community. They do not value their women. They do not value the womb that pushed them into this world. It is not white supremacy. It is us and our lack of standards. I recently had the pleasure of conversating with a young, very intelligent, very articulate black man. And he said to me something that was very profound. And it pretty much wrapped this conversation up for me in my mind. He said, Jennifer, a community is a group of people who have shared values and shared belief system and have shared standards and ways that they do things. To sum it all up, he went on to say, if we don't have shared values and shared standards and in a shared belief system in the way that we do things, in general, then we are not a community. And so I leave you with this. Are black people living in America actually a community? And I think I said everything I needed to say on this. For me, this is about documentation. I've learned historically, and I've seen throughout history that when women are silent and don't speak up and defend themselves, the men will degrade you and then speak for you and say that you enjoyed it. Stop exploiting and degrading our image for profit. We're tired of it.